Hi everyone, my name is Christy and welcome to my Trying a New Makeup Product Everyday series. Today I am so excited to try out another $1 AOA Studio product that I got from Shopmissa, and this here is the Blur-Fection Face Primer in the transparent version. I love trying out primers, but I really love trying out pore filling, pore minimizing primers because large pores is one of my main skin concerns and something that I love to use a primer to target. And I've actually had some great success with AOA Studio $1 primers at actually smoothing out and blurring my pores. And this sounds awesome because it's a velvety face primer that blurs and preps the skin to minimize pores for a smooth, even canvas. The soft texture glides over skin to help lock in makeup for all day wear. It's cruelty-free, vegan, free from parabens, phthalates, sulfates, mineral oil, formaldehydes, and fragrance. And I also really like that it's supposed to be mattifying. So you can put it on the places that you have large pores, but also the places that tend to get greasy. So like my forehead, for example, is another place that I want to prevent from getting too greasy as the day goes on. And of course, like I said, it only cost $1, which nowadays I feel like is so amazing and rare to find $1 products anymore. Unfortunately, it does seem like that is going to soon become something of the past, especially with like makeup products or the makeup products that I'm used to finding for $1. But so here is how it's packaged, and let's check it out. Like, it looks white, but it has a balm texture and definitely is clear as I'm picking it up. And okay, I'm gonna focus this on half of my face so that we can compare the difference. And I'm gonna start out here, the intersection of my cheeks where my skin definitely has the largest pores. And it just has such a beautiful texture that I'm noticing right away. A very silky, blendable balm. So it is mattifying the skin, but it's not at all drying. And I do feel like it's kind of minimizing the pores, not as much as I would have hoped for. Like, that's barely minimizing the pores. I'm also gonna go ahead and just apply it to half of my forehead here. It definitely feels like it's leaving a layer on the skin, like a barrier to smooth out the texture. So maybe that pore minimizing will really happen under makeup. It'll actually really minimize and smooth out the pores, because visibly, I really honestly don't see much of a difference. Also gonna go ahead and kind of smooth out some texture on my chin, hopefully. So this is definitely the type of primer that I'm just going to focus on the areas that need it. So it's really just like that T-zone, the center of my face. For like the outer section, I don't really need to mattify or minimize pores. And since it is kind of a small quantity and that balm texture, I'm just gonna keep focusing it on where I need it. I am really layering it up a lot over the pores to try and see that difference that I'm looking for. But I feel like the more I layer it up, it's not even making a difference. The only like visible difference I'm actually seeing is that mattified, less shiny effect. So the side with it versus without it, which is a really pretty soft, velvety, mattified texture. But now to test it out with foundation. And so I'm gonna go in with my LA Colors Truly Matte Long Wearing High Pigment Foundation. And this is the foundation that I have been reviewing my primers with for a long time now, because this foundation will really show how my skin is underneath. So I'm just gonna go in first on the side without the primer so that we can compare it and I'm not mixing any primer into this side. So I definitely see pore texture on my cheek. Let's see now on the side with the primer if it actually looks any smoother. I feel like the foundation is sticking nicely onto the primer, which is good because it is a little bit more of like a balm, a little bit more silky, slippery. So sometimes the foundation doesn't stick on very well, but in this case it seems to be sticking just fine. Okay, I am really trying my best to like smooth out the foundation here over the pores to try and see the difference that I want to see. But I just don't know if I'm actually seeing all that much smoothing. Yeah, like there's actually like no visible difference with the primer versus without it. If you were comparing the size of my pores, this side to this side, there's not really a visible difference. Like I can still see just as much pore texture peeking through on this side, which is such a bummer because I did layer up so much of the primer. But even on the areas where I didn't layer up quite as thick, it doesn't seem like it smoothed it out. I'm bummed. I was definitely expecting to see a difference, an improvement. And I just feel like this didn't really do anything. So maybe there's a little bit more of a mattified finish this side versus this side. Like you can see a little bit more shine on this side of my foundation versus without it. But I like having a little bit of shine to my foundation and to my skin. Like I prefer having that glow. So I'm not really looking for a super mattifying primer. I actually kind of think the mattified effect makes the foundation look heavy, thick, not necessarily cakey because it's still like a more smooth texture, but it definitely looks less natural and just heavier on the skin. So overall, I just have to say that I prefer the side without the primer, which is a bummer. At least I only spent $1 on it, but if I had seen some improvements, it would have been so amazing that I could get a great primer for only $1 or some improvements in how my skin and my makeup looks for only $1. But in this case, I just have to say I'm not really seeing that. I will continue wearing my makeup for the rest of the day, and I'll let you know as the day goes on. Maybe the side with the primer will last better, maybe it won't get as greasy as the day goes on. So I'll continue wearing it and testing out those factors, and I will update you on my wear test in the description down below. But thank you so much for watching my video today. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel so you can see the makeup that I try every day, and I will see you tomorrow in my next video.